This right here is the 2019 Ford Fusion. It's the latest and greatest mid-size sedan from Ford Motor Company. It's been on the market since 2007. However, with Ford's latest policies of eliminating all their sedans pretty much altogether, except for the Mustang and some weird upcoming version of the Focus, they now pretty much just want to make trucks and SUVs. The 2019 Ford Fusion might be the last one we ever see. And in today's video, I'm going to go over why that is a dumb decision from Ford. So if you're someone that's subscribed to my channel and you watch the videos pretty regularly, you know that my channel would never be where it's at if it wasn't for the Ford Fusion. I used to own a 2015 Ford Fusion Titanium myself, so I will admit right away that this review or overview might be slightly biased because this car does have a special place in my heart. But like I said in the intro here, I do think it's a dumb decision by Ford to discontinue the Ford Fusion because it is a great car. So what we're going to do is take a look at the 2019 model year Ford Fusion and see what's new. So as we do a quick little walk around here, this is the SE model. It comes in the base trim, the SE, and also the SEL now for 2019. I don't really know why they had to go and get an SEL, which is in between the Titanium. The Platinum is gone. We also have a sport version of the Ford Fusion with a twin turbocharged V6, 325 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. So we're going to start up front here and of course talk about the engine. This is the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged EcoBoost engine producing 240 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. Now for 2019, Ford says the Fusion got sleeker lines up front, and like I said, I've owned one and I honestly can't really tell a difference from the 2018 model year. But with that being said, new wheel options are available for 2019 as well as new exterior colors. Our tester here today has the Platinum White Tri-Coat, which is about a $600 add-on in price. And as we get to the rear, we can actually see a difference. So for 2017, when the Fusion got its facelift, they actually added on a chrome strip that started here by the taillights and all across the trunk. For 2019, they deleted the middle part and it's now only across the taillights here. I actually think it looks a little better, but that's again just my opinion. We also have a dual exhaust with chrome tips, and that is because it has the 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. Now this is the key fob, and to open the trunk you can double click right here, or if someone's trying to kidnap you, you can pull this to open the trunk as well. So as you can see, it's pretty good trunk space in the Ford Fusion. I think it's about 15.3 cubic feet. In layman's terms, it fits a 6'2" bald Swedish man like myself. Although I wouldn't prefer laying back there. Yep, but if we try to stay somewhat professional, I'll show you that we can also open the trunk with a button on the trunk lid, of course. Now this Fusion also has the optional all-wheel drive system, which we'll talk more about once we're out on the road. But it is semi-rainy here and also kind of chilly, so I think we'll transition to the inside of the car. Now the second generation of the Fusion was introduced for the 2013 model year, and since then not much has actually changed in the interior of the car except for this center area right here. For 2017, the actual gear lever was replaced by this rotary dial for the transmission. Now a lot of people, including myself, was kind of put off by that, but if we're 100% honest, it does free up a lot of space right here, because we have cubbies down here and then also one right here, and it was a lot harder to reach that area when there was a gear lever. So I've actually grown to enjoy this rotary dial shifter, if we call it that. Now I have to say that Ford has always been on point when it comes to technical features. And for 2019, they introduced Ford Co-Pilot 360, and that is a standard package for all Ford Fusion, and it includes the auto high beam headlamps, blind spot information system, lane keeping system is now standard as well, and also a pre-collision warning along with a backup camera, of course. Now that is actually pretty impressive. So even for a base model Ford Fusion that start in the low 20,000s, you get all those features standard. Now our tester also comes with adaptive cruise control, which is a very nice feature. But before we get out on the road here, we'll test out the back seats. So this is my driving position, and like I said, I am 6'2", so pretty good headroom back here actually. It has like an extra crease up in the ceiling here for more headroom, as well as behind the driver's seat and also the passenger seat. It is designed for more knee room, so I can actually fit back here sitting behind a driver that is 6'2". But the best part of the Fusion has always been, in my opinion, the way it drives. This is a very comfortable car. For being a mid-size sedan, when you're sitting in the driver's seat, it gives you a feeling of a higher end car. Now, while it's not a race car, the 240 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque is definitely noticeable, specifically the torque. It does have good get up and go, and it handles great. It's just a very comfortable car. So why is Ford discontinuing the Fusion? Well, I mean, I'm probably not the right man to answer that question, because I don't know what they're thinking when they're making their decisions there. I can only assume that it has to do, of course, with sales. Now, the Fusion has been trailing the top sellers in the segment for quite a few years. The segment king is, without a doubt, the Toyota Camry, followed by the Honda Accord, and then the Nissan Altima, which all had over 300,000 units sold in the United States in 2017 alone. However, what they do not have, though, is an all-wheel drive option. The Ford Fusion is pretty much the only one in its class that has all-wheel drive as an option, except for the Subaru Legacy. It used to be the Chrysler 200 as well, but that car has been discontinued. So that is, of course, a big advantage that the Ford Fusion has over its competitors. Now, has it really been that much of an advantage, you might ask, since the Fusion indeed has been playing catch up when it comes to sales figures? Well, at least for northern states. I live in Pennsylvania, northeast. We get pummeled with snow here in the winters, and there's a lot of hills up and down. That's just how it is here, and all-wheel drive has been a lifesaver for me. So when it comes down to it, I guess Ford doesn't really see enough value in the Fusion anymore, especially when SUVs nowadays are so popular. The Ford Escape is one of the top sellers in its class, and of course that has all-wheel drive as well. But it's hard for me, at least, to believe that not enough people would want to buy a mid-size sedan from Ford Motor Company. If we look at the Toyota Camry, the Honda Accord, and the Nissan Altima, they all sold over 300,000 units in 2017. I have no doubt that a Ford could reach those numbers as well, especially with it having all-wheel drive as an option. However, that is just my opinion. Who am I? I'm just some little YouTuber. I don't think Ford cares whatsoever about what I think. But with that being said, I still think they're wrong. But if we try to keep this review somewhat objective, we can talk about some facts of the 2019 Ford Fusion. Fuel consumption for the 2-liter 4-cylinder that we're driving today is 20 in the city, 23 on average, and 29 on the highway. Those numbers have actually changed from 2013 to 2016, where they were 22 in the city, 25 on average, and 31 on the highway. And I've jokingly said in previous Ford Fusion videos that I think Ford listened to my bitching about those numbers not being correct. at least not the city numbers. It is very hard to reach even 20 miles per gallon in pure city driving with this engine right here and all-wheel drive. All turbo engines are gas hogs when they're in boost, but on the highway it actually works out very well. I was able to get 32 miles per gallon several times, which was actually higher than the EPA ratings. So those are real life numbers coming from a previous Ford Fusion owner. Don't expect to get all that great gas mileage while you're driving in the city. Now you might think, well, Mike, you have a lead foot, you drive like a maniac. I really don't in the city. Yes, I make some funny YouTube videos every now and then where it looks like I drive like that all the time, but I don't. Now the reason I say that the 2019 could be the last Ford Fusion we ever see is because of the information from Ford. It is slightly confusing regarding when the last production year is going to be. It might be this year, or it might be for the 2020 model year. And then I've heard rumors that they might just be keeping the hybrid powertrain, which is kind of weird as well, although I know hybrids nowadays are becoming more and more popular, but the hybrid Fusion has never been available in all-wheel drive, which has been one of their strong points, as I mentioned already. But all in all, I think it's sad because the Ford Fusion is such a fantastic mid-size sedan car. If we go back to my experience again before we end here, during the years that I had my Fusion, I never had any issue. Now, I put it through some pretty rigorous tests and experiments on my YouTube channel, and the car never failed. It was absolutely great. The only thing I really had to replace during my time of owning the car was the tires. They needed replaced after 22,000 miles, but other than that, fantastic car. So if you're in the market for a mid-size sedan, the Ford Fusion is definitely worth checking out, especially since it might be the last year that you could ever buy one. So with that being said, this video is coming to an end, and it might be the last time we see a Ford Fusion featured on this channel. Now, if you want a more in-depth look of the Ford Fusion, feel free to browse the channel, as I have several reviews of my previous car and also other model years. But if you choose not to do so, I do hope you enjoyed this video right here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you're stopping by for the first time and you haven't already and you want to, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.